Big mistake. Brutally crowded. 13 brutal hours. World's most crowded Airbus. The worst? World's most cramped Airbus. So, I went on YouTube and just typed in Cebu Pacific. And these are the thumbnails or titles from those first few videos that popped up. Cebu Pacific's all-economy 459-seat A330neo is one of the most crowded aircraft out there with its 333 configuration. But is it really that bad? Or are they just being crapped on because it's so easy to do? That's what I wanted to know. By the way, if you're ever curious about the price that I paid for this flight, or the equipment that I use on a daily basis while traveling and creating, all of that can be found in the description below. Let me welcome any of you that might be new to the channel. My name is Kevin. I'm here to give you a self-funded and honest look at some of the best, most unique, or simply most popular airlines and hotels in the world, which I've been bringing to you full-time for 5 years now. I'd love for you to know more about how I do things on the channel, so simply scan the QR code or check out one of my hundreds of videos to do so. Let's get into the trip report. Small point of order as I head to Hong Kong International Airport. If we're gonna be technical, I would think that French B's A350-1000s with their 480 seats on board, with economy in a 343 configuration, would be the most cramped. Minor detail. Welcome to Terminal 1 here in Hong Kong, home to one of the world's easiest set of departure procedures, generally speaking. Cebu Pacific wouldn't allow me to check in online, so I went to one of their kiosks to avoid the line at check-in to print out my boarding pass. It conveniently printed a boarding pass that said, quote, "This is not a boarding pass," unquote. Lovely. In line I went. The airline has up to 10 flights per day from Hong Kong, with around half of those going to Manila, like my flight today. Now, I do need to make a confession. I was a bit, I won't say scared, but I was a bit hesitant to fly Cebu on their A330s, and so that's why I chickened out and flew it from Hong Kong, just in case it was as uncomfortable as everyone else said it was. So at least I'd only be sitting in it for 2 hours. I headed to the AMEX lounge to spend a bit of time, and for only like the second time in the channel's history, was asked to stop filming inside a lounge. I suppose there was potential for some Toomey and Rimowa overload or something. Cebu Pacific was founded in 1988, but didn't have their first flight until 1996, at the time being the first low-cost carrier in all of Asia. Over the years, they've developed into the Philippines' largest carrier by fleet size and by number of daily flights from the major hubs in the country. At first, they were a purely domestic carrier, and in the 2000s received permission to start flying regional routes to Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, Thailand, Korea, Hong Kong, and Guam. Their expansion really took off though when they launched what they called Go Fares in 2005. This was a program that permanently cut fares in half with the goal of boosting overall revenue by 20%. In the end, their revenue nearly doubled from the initiative. To expand to the Middle East, they procured A330s beginning in 2013. They swapped those older models in and now have 11 A330neos in the fleet, though for the most part after COVID, their focus has been on flights under 5 hours. In 2023, they introduced what I think is my favorite airline tagline or marketing line of all time. Let's fly, everyone. Get it? One. No? Well, I like it. Our inbound aircraft was late and we ended up boarding around an hour behind schedule, a boarding process which was actually very orderly by zone. If you're enjoying the video and would like to support the channel, there are many ways that you could do so. A quick like on the video and subscribe helps videos with the algorithm. You could join my YouTube channel memberships to get early access to some videos and access to all of my community posts. Or you could check out my Patreon, where I post the most, and can help you out with any travel-related questions. Whatever you do, thanks for doing it. Here's our 5-year-old A330-900. So now, before you see which seat I chose, I mean, you didn't think I was going to choose a middle seat, right? I mean, I practically live in exit rows. So I chose a window seat in row 5 with unlimited legroom, and while the plane was nearly full, the first few rows, which cost a few dollars more, were mostly empty. So the legroom isn't really the thing to fear on these planes though. You can see here, it's actually not that bad at all. If my knees aren't touching, I'm a happy camper, on a low-cost airline, at least. The issue, of course, on these planes is the width of the seat. These seats are just 16.8 inches wide, or 42.7 centimeters. Look on the bright side though. French B's economy seats are 16.7 inches wide. While I did have unlimited legroom, my armrest was fixed, so I did truly have the narrowest seat on board. And honestly, like really super honestly, it wasn't that bad. If you're broad in the shoulders, the biggest problem you'll have will be how squished up against the wall you'd be if you were sitting next to another broad-shouldered individual. But even that, for 2 hours, is fine. You won't see me on a 10-hour flight with them anytime soon, or ever frankly, but what I'm saying is, it could be a heck of a lot worse. Besides the seat, I have to call out the crew who were super friendly and charismatic throughout the flight. Let's get into the air. No comforts on board, but there was a buy on board food menu available, with a pretty extensive menu. There are some hot items that you can buy on the spot, but if you want the full selection, you'll need to pre-order on their website like I did. I chose the beef adobo, and it was very delicious, and I really appreciate that they serve it on a small tray. I can't tell you how many times I've nearly burnt my fingerprints off when the crew on Vietjet or AirAsia hand me the foil tray directly. Onboard entertainment is limited to the onboard magazine and cloud spotting. Toilets on board are nothing special, but were kept clean and are certainly pretty bright. We have a beautiful view of Metro Manila coming up before the landing, but before we get into that, let's talk about the ranking. They're fine. I see no reason to rank them any differently than the likes of Scoot and AirAsia. The food is as good. The crew were frankly better than normal, and especially if we're talking about their routes on a narrow-body aircraft, I wouldn't hesitate to book them for a second. On these wide bodies, yes, I could fly them on a 5-hour flight with the extra legroom. Cebu Pacific, everyone's gonna scream at me for this, but you're kind of a low-cost 7.
Canonical landing station.
So I really do hope that you enjoyed this trip report today. If you did, please be sure to click that like button and subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss my twice weekly videos. I'll see you next time on AirAsia. As always, thanks for watching until the end.